We tell stories, and our story is still tennis, and it always will be. Usually, we being based in Melbourne, Australia, just a short foot fault from Melbourne Park. The Australian Open is our bread and butter, but we've opened up our coverage this time around. Wimbledon 2023, we're putting out as much high quality content as possible for all tennis fans worldwide, because we know there's an audience out there for our content with a point of difference that's dynamic, reactive, adaptable, flexible, and above all, something that is a little bit outside the box. We don't focus on the elite level players. No way, no. We like bringing stories about all the players that you usually don't get much of a spotlight shining on them, because maybe they're outside the top 50 or up in the top 100, the top 300, and fighting for places on the ITF and Challenger tours to rack up points so they can just even get to the qualifying rounds, and even then they might not get through to the main draw of a Grand Slam. So that's what we're all about. We're about educating ourselves and sharing that information with our audience, who we know are hungry to know more about lesser known players. And a case in point is Carolyn B. Thanks so much for your feedback, Carolyn. I did see right after the stream, I saw you talking about Christopher O'Connell and asking for some information about him. You'll see in the comments I've tried to share a previous episode where we featured Chris O'Connell as a wild card candidate going into, I think it was Australian Open 2022, but I will also, in a separate episode, not this one, but I'll also look at featuring Chris O'Connell's profile with everybody. And that's the type of question that we are hungry for. So if you also, like Carolyn B, you've got a question about a player, men's or women's, on the ATP WTA Tour, why not throw that question at us? Because our speciality is researching and picking around like a magpie around all the information that's available in the public domain, and we can package it up into one easy to consume bite-sized piece of content. And speaking of bite-sized content, let's get on with this third installment, the wrap-up as it happened, first round, day 2, Wimbledon 2023. So just a reminder, we like and love sharing our knowledge, so we don't have broadcast rights to any Wimbledon footage, but we do know where you can find all the best information about all your favourite players as they go through the Wimbledon tournament. And when you know it, there's a YouTube channel for everything, and Wimbledon has a special list of press conference page with all interviews from beginning to end. So if you get a bit bored, or you're sick of watching 20 or 30 or 40 second sound bites squeezed into some nightly news bulletin, and you want a little bit more, well, guess what? You can drop into those press conferences anytime you want, as if you're actually there in front of them. So we'll share this information. There it is, the Wimbledon press conferences page. But again, it's all the elite players. That's not our bread and butter. This is our bread and butter. We've covered all 4 days of Wimbledon qualifying last week, all 3 rounds that had to be played by the eventual winners of the qualifying, who went through to the main draw, earned a main draw spot at Wimbledon 2023. And last night, late yesterday afternoon, we finished off the second of our 2 previews. We're only doing 2 previews of round 1 of any round, because round 1 is the best time to check out who is in the main draw. We went through the schedule there, plucking out a few really interesting matches of players that aren't usually around the nightly news bulletins, because some of the stories around behind every player ranking is a very interesting story. And speaking of interesting stories, And that stinger lets you know that we have a lot to share in terms of, no, I've seen that a million times, that thumbnail, so let's go. I've seen that too. Now, let's just briefly set up the background for you. So, Carolyn, I've got a bit of a surprise for you about Chris O'Connell. I've gone into our content library, and I have found Chris O'Connell in the wildcards here. Now, the only trouble is it won't let me scroll down the page, but lucky me, it's right at the bottom. So while I'm rabbiting on, I've had to mute this for the audience. I'm so sorry, but there is commentary obviously over the top of this footage, so I'm not going to compete with myself. But the picture tells the story, and you'll be able to learn a little bit about Chris O'Connell and all of these wild cards, including Classy Tanasi Kokonakis. So I'll let that run in the background. That's from a couple of years ago, as the Australian Open was coming out of COVID. No need to talk more about that. We all know what happened. So let's get into the rest of the next instalment of day two, first round Wimbledon 2023. First round Wimbledon 2023. And just when you think you've left all the tech issues behind you. Anyway, let's not jinx ourselves. So as it finished up, you might remember we were chatting about Shelby Rogers and Alina Rybinka. They were just about to get onto centre court. Won't go over that old information because we do know that the defending champion is struggling. She's had an allergy and a virus, and to retain her title, she's if she beats the virus, then she's got to beat Ons Jabeur in the quarters and Sabalenka in the semis. So let's go check out the new Wonder Kid. Now, back in my day, if you were talking Wonder Kid, you'd be immediately thinking of Boris Boom Boom Becker. As far as I'm concerned, he is the he's it. When it comes to young kids bursting onto any sporting scene, let alone Wimbledon, if you grew up in the 80s, and I think it was 84 from memory that Boris Becker ploughed through the field as an unseeded 17-year-old, mind you, flying through the air for forehands off the ground, backhands off the ground. The exuberance, the energy, that youthful German, just actually just taking the world by storm. And if you can imagine a world before social media, which for all of us is getting harder and harder to do, well, for me, Boris Becker is it's gonna take a lot for someone to surpass him as far as performing at such a young age. So for those that think that Carlos Alcaraz is all that, as the young kids like to say, well, let's see how he performs against Boris Boom Boom Becker's record, and I'm not talking about a stint in Her Majesty's prison. And poor old Boris had a brief stint in go directly to jail, do not pass go. The poor old fellow was a bit loose with his tax returns and got deported after he left jail. Not very nice, but it's great to see him out and about and looking very grateful for what life's given him since. So let's move on to Carlos Alcaraz. He is on court against a very poorly performing Jeremy Chardy, and have a look at this. He's gone through. He's cutting through like all the cliches and proverbials you care to mention. 6 love, 1 love in the second, and Jeremy Chardy, his body language, he is hating this. And look, Jeremy, we're all hating watching it. Get your act together. There's someone's talking about Stefan Edberg, the Swede, triple bageling Stefan Eriksson, I'd forgotten about that. The first round of Wimbledon 87, we're all distracted by Boris Becker and his follow-up tournaments. But that was that effort by Stefan Edberg. He went 6-love, 6-love, 6-love in the first round against Stefan Eriksson, and it was only the third time that kind of a scorecard had been seen at Wimbledon in the Open era. Never mind Wimbledon; it was the first time at SW19, and since then there's been two others. Oh, we're getting into a bit of trivia, a bit of history here. Ivan Lendl, who the heck was Barry Moyer? In 87 in New York at the US Open at Flushing Meadow. Sergei Bruguera did Thierry Champion at Roland Garros in 93. Oh, look at this. Well, while we've been going through that trivia and history, Alcaraz has held serve again, leading 1-0 2-0 in the second set. So we're sticking to our 30-minute limit for every instalment today as we go through the wrap-up of day 2 as it happened in the first round. And here he goes. He's done it. They're cheering. Jeremy Chardy in the, 6-3, in the 9th game of the match, never mind the set. He's finally held serve, and the 36-year-old he's getting a cheer and a clap and everything. Now he is a former Grand Slam finalist, so let's have a bit of respect for the guy. He's smiling ruefully. Good on you, Jeremy. But on centre court, Shelby Rogers, in the first game, she has broken the serve of the defending champion, Alina Rybakina, and now she's got a game back. Well done, you. But Rogers still ahead 2-1 in the first set. And back on centre, is it court 1? Alcaraz now leads Chardy 4-1 in the second set. Dear. Is it raining again? Let me just check the weather forecast. Well, I can't see anything. But here's Shelby Rogers. She's seeing the ball like a watermelon. She's out to a 3-1 lead in the first set. And what else is happening there? There's a bit of kerfuffle in the Royal box. And it's it's Royal Roger Federer. He's got into the Royal box. He's getting a standing ovation. He's standing next to Princess Kate, and Mirka, his wife, is there. Now, is she relieved because he's retired, or is she relieved because he's retired and he can help take care of their 4 kids? They have 2 twins. Have you ever heard of any such a thing? They've got 2 sets of twins. No wonder she's happy that he's retiring. So, Mirka, she used to be a professional tennis player herself on the women's circuit. And would you believe this for a piece of trivia? She has spent 21 years, this is ridiculous, 21 years and 5 months of her life clapping Roger Federer. Are you joking? It's the most stupid, ridiculous bit of trivia I've... And speaking of trivia, this game is trivial. Carlos Alcaraz. He must be... we'll drag out the old cliches about somebody wanting to get home in time for something. So he's leading 15 love, holes to love. He has won the second... He's already won the second set. 6-love, 6-2. He's leading. And is there a bit of rain that doesn't look... Because I can tell you from personal experience, it's not much fun being at Melbourne Park when all you can see is rain and puddles and skipping around those particular things. But anyway, on centre court, there's no hint of rain because Alina Rybakina sent a forehand down the line. That return gives her 40-30 in this game, but Rogers holds serve. She's playing well. That makes it 5-3 in the first set. So the defending champion is now serving to stay in the first set. So I'm so sorry. No play before 2:45 p.m. British Standard Time on the outside courts. And it's not looking good at the All England club for the outlook for the rest of the day. So will they get back out there? Play's been suspended, I believe. But meanwhile, Shelby Rogers bringing you up to speed with her lead-in to Wimbledon. She's only played one match on grass this grass court season. She lost to Camilla Osorio, and she's a qualifier, and that was played at Eastbourne, and she's ranked 49 in the world, and she's as close to as bad a first-round draw as you can get. I don't know what that. I don't know what they're talking about. And I'm not going to bother to find out because there it is. That is an ace. Shelby Rogers 6-4 in the first set, and the defending champion is a little bit. She's a little bit in trouble. And so let's see what's going on with Jeremy Chardy. His stubble's going grey. Is it from this match? But anyway, Jeremy Chardy slugging out for 11 minutes, and he has broken. He has broken for a love 6, 2-6, 4-2 lead in the third set. Yes, that is correct. Do not adjust. Do not adjust anything. And it looks like, yes, is it Rybakina taking advantage for breaking to a 2-love lead in the second set? She is. Rybakina, no, her forehand is just not working. And back on centre court, Jeremy Chardy has had his game broken. No surprise there. And Rybakina holds. She's leading 3 games to love in the second set. So we're going to keep flipping around between these two matches because they are the only two matches currently underway. Jeremy Chardy, yeah, there's a forehand down the line. That's all right. But although it was empty space, it wasn't empty for too long because charging into the screen in front of us was Carlos Alcaraz. He's run it down, hit a cross-court winner low over the net. So not only is the crowd applauding, I'm applauding. Jeremy Chardy is also applauding. And I wouldn't be doing that, Jeremy, if I was you, because it looks like you've got a break point against you, and you can't convert. And so now let's just double check the score because it's all getting so muddled up here. Not through our efforts, I might add. So where is Alcaraz? Breaks Chardy for 6-5 in the second set, and he's now serving for the match. So from now on, to all the listeners, it's going to get a little bit muddled here with the rain delays, and so why don't we skip ahead to the result that we all knew was coming. Carlos Alcaraz, the number 1 seed, has beaten in 3 sets Jeremy Chardy 6-love, 6-2, 7-5 in the third. Oh well, so that is actually the last time we'll see Jeremy Chardy competing as a professional on tour. That's his last match. So at least he got up and about for the final set. That he got his everything started coming together. So that's yeah, I'd agree. That's a comprehensive hiding, and finished off with oh dear, 2 straight aces. Well, that won't look good in his highlights reel for his grandkids. But anyway, why not lose? Why not lose on centre court to the next big thing in tennis? So we now have a match between. No, we don't. The next match for Carlos Alcaraz will be between Muller or Rinderknecht next, and the match between those two guys suspended is currently with Muller leading 7-6, 1-0 in the second set. And let's see what Carlos Alcaraz has to say about his match. He reckons he's played really well and he's happy to see. Oh, that's very sportsmanlike of him. Happy that Chardy improved in the third set because he likes to play rallies and compete in a balanced contest. Fair enough. He's now commenting about the closed roof. He doesn't make much of a difference to him, and he tried not to think about it. They're becoming common, of course. I think there's a closed roof now at Flushing Meadow, and of course there's a closed roof at Melbourne Park. Has been there for quite some time. Is ball speed through the air a factor with a closed roof? Anyway, he's saying that he's happy to keep playing while it's raining, but he also says that he's a really lucky guy. He's received with love everywhere he goes, and you can see why, because it's not just about what he does on court, but also the way he speaks and treats all those around him. So it looks like we're going to be playing a game of What's Up Next. So what's up next, Doc? Next on court 1 is Ons Jabeur, the very affable and easy on the eye with her tennis game. The number 6 seed against, is it Barbara Frecht? There's no, oh dear, the rain is now delaying play on the outside courts. There's some huge covers there on the outside courts with not many umbrellas, but a huge bloated cover. Have they got hot air under that cover? So that's been delayed by another 2 hours to 3:30 p.m. British Standard Time. We're just looking for some other score updates. If we can find out what Shelby Rogers is up to with, oh dear. I didn't see this coming. The match, Shelby Rogers, the American, has lost in 3 sets. That third set went in the blink of an eye. That's caught me by surprise. So the defending champion, the number 4 seed, she has seen off the American after a slow start. Ripped through the second set 6-1, and that's a colossal win, because ordinarily you'd say, oh, that's a decent win, a workmanlike win, but for the defending champion, she's been off ill for a month because of problems around allergies and the like, catching viruses. So to get back up and running after a nasty encounter with viruses, let alone, won't even mention the word COVID, or the like. But so Rogers, she did well for a set, but her class just wasn't quite up to it. Oh, now here we go. So here's one of our favourite players on tour that we met a couple of years ago. We featured her in the preview. The Japanese player, the 28-year-old from Saitama, now Hibino. Her first name being Nao, so I'm going to pronounce it now. And she's playing Elise Cornet. Elise Cornet. She got up in the quarter-final or a semi-final last year. Her first ever appearance beyond the 3rd or 4th round in a Grand Slam ever. She's been kicking around the traps on the Grand Slam circuit for nearly 10 or 12 years, and it was her first appearance. She was thrilled, the French player, and so it'll be one of those two girls, Hibino or Cornet, who meets the defending champion, and we're watching the players meet at the net. Rogers is giving a warm embrace to the defending champion. There's an interview coming, but Shelby Rogers getting a nice cheer from the crowd, but Rybakina is saying that she was really nervous and she couldn't hide her nerves. Well, I don't know that I really saw it. The double fault that she had at the start of the match underlined that, according to the defending champion. As far as playing on centre court, well, she had it last year, but she thought that it didn't seem to help her this year. She was still feeling nervous, and she's also making a note that she never played under the roof before. Now, does she mean at any Grand Slam, or does she mean at Wimbledon? But anyway, she's saying that the grass is fuller on the baseline, so that makes a difference to the bounce of the ball, of course. And on the plus side, she said she's feeling better. And she's just putting down her illness. She's happy to get through that, and happy to get through to the second round. Well done, you. So we're just about heading out, getting up to our self-appointed half-hour mark. So there's still a little bit to go. So rather than get into it here, because we've got Ons Jabeur, we've got Andy Murray taking on Ryan Peniston. So why don't we leave it off here, and we'll pick it up again in about half an hour or 40 minutes time. And like the Palms waiting for the rain, we will do the same. That's what we want. We want this. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You've been listening to The Bloke Who Walks, this Australian Open Life, produced by Wise Words Media. We are a boutique production house punching above our weight here in Melbourne. We are a short double fault from Melbourne Park, and that's our bread and butter, the Australian Open at Melbourne Park. So we hope you've enjoyed the footage playing in the background, just showing off a bit of Melbourne, showing off a bit of what we like to do, which is we tell stories, and our story is tennis. And this time around, we're telling a story with a difference about Wimbledon 2023, and we're thrilled to be able to bring you the point of difference that hopefully you've been craving for, and we're meeting your needs. So if you have any questions, please let us know. And just like Carolyn B, we'd be happy to field your questions, do a little bit of research, and tell you about your favourite players, or the players that you would like to be your favourites who you don't know much about. Maybe you've been listening to our preview episodes. Maybe you've been watching our episodes about the qualifying rounds that we covered all 4 days last week at the qualifying 3 rounds for all the players who are trying to earn a spot in the main draw. Or maybe you're just curious about tennis, or maybe you're a tennis fan from way back, and maybe you'd like us to do a little bit of more research for you, because that's our bread and butter. That's what we do. That's what we like doing. There's a lot of information out there in the public domain, so let us do all the hard work for you, and we'll put it here for you. You can pick and choose at your leisure, and we appreciate you dropping in, but please don't drop out. Come back. There's about 350 of you that have come by for the first time. We really appreciate your company. Help us grow our audience. Drop a like, drop a subscription, drop a comment, drop a question, but by all means, whatever you do, don't drop us. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll chat to you very soon.